Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. I'm your host, Coach Tripp. My partner, Coach Mark Hobley's in the house here at these studios, Bill Kelly Studios, the Tripoli household. Oh my gosh, I got to get organized here, Coach. I've been talking. We're with Karl Jernigan, head baseball coach at Tate High School. Coach, we got so much to talk about, but first I want to get last night's game out of the way, talk about that. Baseball can be beautiful. It can also be cruel. What did you say to the kids that they can learn from the disappointment or that they can learn from that?
You know, it was like you said, it was a tough game. It was a tough loss, and I told them, there's nothing I can say. It's going to make it better. It is what it is, and I appreciated my seniors. A lot of my seniors I've had for 3 years, and I appreciated that effort that they were. They wanted to get a district championship before they left, and I wanted to give them one, but it just didn't work out. I have nothing but great things to say about them. They competed. They did everything that we asked them to do. They responded. We got down early in the ball game, and they kind of had the momentum. And we had a big time in the game around the third inning. I had to make a pitching change, and I brought a guy, Gabe Patterson, in. Runners at first and third with nobody out, and he was able to get out of it without giving up a run. And I thought that was huge for us. And we kind of continued to battle and fight, and kind of got the lead in the fifth, and continued to add on the sixth and the seventh, and it just bottom of the seventh, it didn't go our way. They made the swings and had the hits when they needed to, and it was a tough loss. But the one thing I did tell them was, hey, as bad as that feels, and it was rough last night. I said, sun's gonna come up tomorrow, and the good thing is we're still in the playoffs, and we with the bracket just came out about an hour ago, and we got in as the 4th seed. And we will be traveling to Leon High School on Wednesday. So it's our season starts now, and I like the way I've been talking about it for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I like the way that our team is trending. I thought that we've been playing really good the last couple of weeks. I thought we played really good last night. And yes, we lost, but we took a lot of positives. We overcame some adversity, and I told them, hey, it's going to be a tough one. It's not going to be given to you. You got to go earn it. And, it's we get the opportunity to continue playing, and that's all that matters this time of the season is when you need to get hot. And we got the opportunity. We're going to go play a real good Leon baseball team. And so we're going to go on the road, but these guys are prepared for it. And we'll get back to work today and get ready for Leon and head that way next week.
Well said, Coach. It was a great battle last night. You guys got in a couple jams, bases loaded, no outs, just 2 runs. That's a win. You're up 6-3. It was right there, just 3 outs away. So, you are playing a lot better than you were at the beginning of the year. Talk about some of the challenges and highlights for this year, because it's been a really good year. Talk about some of the guys and stuff.
Yeah, I've it's quite a few guys. I got quite a few seniors, and I've got some guys that have been with me for a while. Drew Reeves, he's a guy that I can't say enough positive things. I mean, Drew's been through a tough later part of the season. He, the last Pace game that we played, he tweaked his hamstring in the middle of that game, and I had to bring him out, and he was pitching for us then, and the last 2 weeks he hadn't been able to come back and play, and tweaking a hamstring, it takes some time. Depending on it, it's 4, 6, 8 weeks, depending on. But Drew is a guy that works his butt off, and he, for the last 2 weeks, I said, man, you're not playing. You need to get yourself ready to play. And he did therapy 2 times a day, did everything that we had really asked for him to do. And I was very skeptical on Monday. About possibly putting him in on Tuesday because, my thing is, I want to win, but I got to take care of my boys. And Drew's going to play at PSC next year. He's got a career that's going to continue on, and I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt him. And me and the coaching staff and the trainers, we had some tests that he had to pass, and he passed every test. Strength was good. Everything was right there. And Drew wanted to get in, and geez, if he didn't come in against Gulf Breeze and hit a grand slam for us. This is a guy that hasn't seen live pitching in 2 weeks, and he's been just rehabbing that, just started swinging a day before that. And for him to come in and get 2 hits there, got 2 hits for us last night as the DH. And, I told him against Gulf Breeze, I said, if you hit it over the fence, you can just jog. And sure enough, he hit that grand slam. And I got onto him. I said, hey, you need to slow your jog down a little bit. That was a little bit too fast. But he's been a big leader for us this year, along with many other ones. Frankie Randall, second baseman for me, he's played really, really good. He's a 4-year guy with me at the varsity level. And Riley Lowry on the mound has done a great job. Ethan McAnally. I mean, this is a guy that a couple of weeks ago had a week of his life. He hits 3 grand slams in 1 week. My gosh, some people don't hit 3 grand slams in their lifetime. And him to do it in 1 week, I told him, I said, look, man, you do realize that this is special. He's like, yeah, it's okay. I said, no, it's more than okay. You realize that when you're my age and say,
Coach,
hey,
have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen anything like that?
I've never seen 3 grand slams in 1 week. Now I have seen something very, very crazy. At Florida State, Marshall McDougal, he hit the 6 home runs in 1 game. That was crazy. To make that even better, he led the game off with a single in the first and then went 6 straight home runs. So he went 7 for 7.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I've seen quite a few things with the home run. Not me hitting them, but other people hitting them. But Mac has been big for us. And just can continue going around. My catcher, Bray Touchstone. He's the rock. He holds all them catchers, all the pitchers together, and he has been really, really big for us at the plate. He's a junior. He's a 3-year guy. Started for me as a freshman, and he's been our rock behind the plate. And
he threw somebody out last night, right?
He did. It was on a dime too. It was a great throw, and my outfielders, Cade Kelly, Jay Davis. You just continue to go. I got another junior, Cliff Quiggins, that has been with me. He started for me last year. I could just go on. And then Gabe Patterson. Gabe Patterson's a junior for us that got a little bit of time last year on the mound and has just really just got a lot of confidence in himself. And he pitched great last night. Now, yeah, he had to take the loss, but came in and put a lot of zeros up for us. And he's been doing that all year long. And it goes all the way down with everybody that and my staff. I can't do this alone, and it's not me, it's us. And I've got the best staff that you could possibly have in the area. And I've got guys that are I've got a coach that won a state championship in Oklahoma. I've got 3 ex-head coaches on my staff, and
wow.
It's awesome to be able to they help me a lot. And I feel like I'm the young guy out of my staff, but I appreciate them, and it's been a fun run, and hopefully we can continue this going starting on Wednesday.
Coach, how do you make practices hard? I was always a believer because my Coach O'Leary and Coach Brian always believed in making practices harder than games. And how do you make them competitive? How do you make practices hard and competitive?
Games. We play little games in everything that we do. Whenever we're and I'll have competitive stuff. I work with the infielders a lot, and with the infielders, we'll have. If they field every ground ball, make every throw on certain things, I do push-ups, and they love seeing me. And whenever they screw up, I let them have it too. But and then while we're hitting, they have different groups. Each group. We'll have a certain game that we're playing, what we're trying to do with it. We keep tallies. The losing team has to pick up all the baseballs and put all the stuff up. So it's I like an upbeat practice. I don't like it to be quiet and dull. We're constantly moving. I tell them all the time, look, I'm not going to be out there 4, 5, 6 hours. We're going to be out there, 2.5, 3 hours, get what we need to get done and get out of there. And it's, and it goes with the guys. The guys are easy to work with, and they buy into our system, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch it click. You as a coach continue to work all the time, and are they getting it? And these guys are getting it. And I know we lost last night, but man, to just see our guys compete and battle every single. It was fun to see, and I told them I'll go to war with you any day. If you just give me what you give me every single day. And that's what they do. When they show up, it's their job. for 2.5, 3 hours. That's their job, and that's what I ask them to do. And I appreciate them.
Folks, we're talking with the head baseball coach at Tate High School, Karl Jernigan, and on my podcast, it's a different venue than radio, Coach. So a lot of my listeners and viewers don't really know your story, but your story yourself is amazing. You went to Milton High School, 4-year starter at FSU in center field for Coach Martin. I want you to talk a little bit about Coach Martin, and then we'll talk about your home run, the World Series. Talk a little bit about Coach Martin and what you learned from him.
Yeah, coming in as a freshman, it was a great experience. I'm a diehard Florida State fan, so getting that opportunity was awesome. And I moved to the outfield. I'd never really played outfield before. I'd always played shortstop, and so moving there and learning so much. There's a lot of things that you learn throughout the game, and those 4 years learning from him, being able to go to 3 College World Series in 4 years. That was. I remember my first year whenever we went to Omaha, I was 18 years old, and it was just I was in awe. It was, wow, I just watched this on TV last year, and now I'm here. But it was I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot of little things that you take, and I knew I wanted to be a coach one day. And you always want to pick up things, and he was very, very successful in his career. And I hate that we never won one. My sophomore year, we had a chance, and got beat by Miami. But it was a lot of learning experiences all the way throughout my process, and not only him, but with Meat. Meat was also Martin Jr. He was our assistant coach there as well, and just had a great staff and had a good time and learned a lot. Got to see a lot of good places, and it was a great experience for me there.
Gosh, Coach, you batted over 300 for 3 years. You batted 332 in 2000 and stole 3 bases 4 different times in games. I didn't know you had some wheels on you, Coach. I knew you had some power because I want you to talk about your most famous shot, 3-run shot in the bottom of the 13th against Stanford to send you to the World Series champ. And people don't remember, maybe don't remember, but I know you'll remind them. Kevin Cash hit a 2-run homer before you.
Oh yeah. It was that was a crazy game. It was back and forth. We went up, then Stanford came back and went up big, and we kind of continued to fight back. And man, that team we were loaded. We had there's a lot of guys on that team that continued to play, at the next level. I think Matt Diaz played outfield for the Braves for many years. He played right field by me. I mean, we had Cash, is doing his thing now in Tampa, but it was back and forth. I remember, I think we tied it up in the 9th, and then I think 10th, nothing happened. 11th, they went up 2, and then we went back-to-back home runs to tie that up. And then, in the 13th, we got a base hit, and then we called it a Texas chopper, a ball that literally hit right in front of home plate and bounced over to first baseman's head, and they went first to third. And, I come up with that guy behind me, Marshall McDougal. Well, he was having a really, really good year, and I knew first and third, hey, they don't really want to throw to this guy. So I'm going to get something to hit. And, they talk about all the time in baseball, the ball looks like it's a balloon. And, I saw the first pitch come out of his hand as a ball, and, I kind of picked it up out of the box really, really well. And I said, hey, he's got to come to me right here. And I'm just trying to hit a baseball hard. That's all I'm trying to do. It's hit a baseball hard somewhere, and we're going to win. And I hit it, and I remember exactly where I hit it, and I'm running to first, and the first thing I think is, hey, we won. Yes. Running halfway to first, and I see the left fielder and center fielder going back, and I'm thinking, hey, did I hit that good enough to get out? That would be really cool. And then I hit first base and look, and it's ricocheting in the stands, and I didn't really know at the time what I did. I just knew we won, and I got beat to death at home plate, which you'll accept that sometimes. And then the next day it was just. Back then, we didn't do the 2 out of 3 in the championship game. It was just one game, and we had used a lot of arms to get back there because we had to beat Stanford twice, and Miami was just sitting there waiting on us. And They just had our number that year. We played them 7 times, I think, and they beat us 6. All 7 games were by 1 run. And
oh my gosh! All 7 games were by 1 run.
It was just kind of one of those years, and it was meant for them to win. But
yeah,
man, it was a great experience. It was a
hey,
great experience.
Hobbs got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach Mark Hobley here. When you played at Milton, did you play with the Milton team as an 8th grader coming up that summer?
I don't think I did, because I had come in. They didn't really, at the time, they didn't do all that like we will do nowadays.
Right.
I just kind of came in and I played for the Chief. I played for Coach Madison because I played football too. And
right. And you played baseball as well. Who was your baseball coach at Milton? Was it Johnny
Coach?
Hawkins,
I had Johnny Hawkins and Danny Rutherford. They were my coaches.
Right.
And Coach Rutherford was there the first year, and then Coach Hawkins was there the next 3 years. And, you know, and I'll be truly honest with you. I played baseball all my life, but my love was football. And I never really played football until I got to high school, and Dad wouldn't let me play until I got there. And I loved it. And I ran into a guy that was, man, he was pretty tough. I'll tell you that. He was pretty tough with Coach Madison. But, man,
Yes.
That guy, I can't say enough about that guy. He taught me so much about, you know, just life. And you know, it's kind of, us as coaches, we're the figure for a lot of kids of just trying to help them in a lot of different ways. And, you know, whatever sport that they're playing in, baseball, football, it's going to come to an end one day, you know, for all of us.
Yes,
and whenever that does, you want to be able to have something to fall back on. And that's what we try to, that's what he helped me with, that I didn't understand when I was 17, 18 years old, but I did when I was 21, 22, going through a rough time in my career, that I was struggling. But the mentality, the mental part of the game, the toughness in football helped me in baseball. And that's why I always encourage kids to play different sports, because every sport helps you in every different way, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. Well said, Coach. It's always a joy to have you on the show. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us, and good luck in the tourney this year, Coach.
Hey, I sure do appreciate it. And thanks for having me on, and y'all take care of yourself.
Coach, I got one more question. I was doing some research, but I got like 3 different answers to the final score of that FSU Stanford game. I got like 15-12, 14-11, 13-11. Set the record straight. Do you remember?
13-11.
13-11, I think.
13-11.
13-11. And, Coach, you keep talking about home runs. Coach, you hit one that day in the summer. Okay, either you or the Peacher Boy hit one on top of the gym. Y'all were in 8th grade, Coach. You were in 8th grade. I had Coach Blake over there, and you were better than the seniors I had leaving, not coming in. You were better than the seniors I had leaving. So when you talk about home runs, this guy's been around some home runs.
Yeah.
And then I'll never forget the one you hit to make it 13-11. We'll never forget it in the Panhandle.
You're a legend, Coach. We're lucky to have you at Tate. I got my Tate. I'm representing Tate. Here we go. Here we go.
And go Aggies. I had a chance. I coached Cliff Quiggins.
Man.
Yeah, I coached his father. So I've seen you guys play a little bit, and I will definitely be pulling for the Aggies deep down.
Quigg is a very, very good baseball player, and I enjoy having him.
A lot better than his daddy.
See you, Coach. Thanks.
Y'all take care.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
There's a reason why Hill Kelly in Pensacola is the #1 selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer between Jacksonville and New Orleans. While other dealers have taken advantage of a competitive market with higher prices, Hill Kelly has discounted prices to the lowest of the year. And Hill Kelly in Pensacola won't surprise you with excessive charges beyond the selling price. Come see why people from Milton, Pace, Foley, Bay Minette, Daphne, Gulf Shores, Mobile, and beyond are driving to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to buy their next new Chrysler Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. At Hill Kelly, the bottom line price and your satisfaction are what really matter. So before you sign, check the bottom line and make the trip to Hill Kelly in Pensacola to see what true local ownership can do for you. At Hill Kelly Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Highway 29 in Car City, Pensacola. Or shop online 24/7 at hillkellydodge.com. When it comes to bottom line pricing, nobody beats a Hill Kelly deal. Nobody.
Hey, Bill, some game, huh?
I haven't really noticed, Paul.
What? The biggest game of the year?
I've been looking over my insurance. Talk about problems I'm trying to figure out.
Well, do what I did. Call the Seiler Agency. They showed me what I needed and what I didn't. They even saved me money. Now, instead of worrying about my insurance, I can worry about the big game.
Contact the Seiler Agency at 476-7443 for all of your insurance needs. Your independent agent for home, auto, boat, RV, commercial, general liability, life, and sound investment strategies. Call 476-7443 today.
Are you riding around in a filthy vehicle? Dirty car no more. Visit Ronnie's Car Wash today to get it shining in no time. They have 3 convenient locations with another coming soon. The unlimited monthly wash packages start as low as $14.95 per month with free vacuums, multi-purpose spray, and towels. Visit them in Gulf Breeze, Navarre, Fort Walton, and soon Crestview. Don't wait, wash today. Be sure to see Ronnie's Car Wash on Facebook to see the latest specials and discounts. You'll be riding and shining in no time.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner, Local Sports Report Edition. I'm your host, Coach Tripp. Mark Hobley, Coach Hobbs, is in the house, literally in our studio, in the house on our podcast. Time for some local. We were talking a little bit with Coach Jernigan about the local baseball scene, but Catholic beat Mariana last night. Congratulations, Coach Richard LeBounty, for the district title in Class 3A. As they beat them 8-2.
Yes,
they're out
sir.
of the playoffs. They already came out. I thought the FHSA wasn't coming out for a little while, but it just came out
About an hour ago.
Yeah, about an hour ago.
According to Coach Jernigan.
According to Coach Jernigan, that's right. They're the 4 seed, and they're going to play Leon.
In Tallahassee.
In Tallahassee. And I guess
that'll be next Wednesday night.
Next Wednesday night. Okay. This past Wednesday night, Pine Forest High School lost the Class A 5A district title to Fort Walton Beach 7-5, as Columbia is ranked number 1 in the region. And we're going to try to get a hold of Coach Logan Williamson, Fort Walton Beach head baseball coach, next week.
Coach, they started off 0-7, and they've gone like 11-5 the last week, and he needs to be commended for that. That's his first year.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, I know I was coaching at Pensacola in 1996. I don't ever remember Fort Walton having a winning record.
Wow. Yeah, baseball program's been down,
Yeah,
but it looks
yes.
like it took a former Catholic high kid to do it. We're going to talk to maybe Logan next week. Last night, we talked about the pace. Tate. Let's see. Gulf Breeze is in. Tate is in. Fort Walton or Pine Forest should be in too.
Yes.
We're going to check those for today. Softball, Gulf Breeze 8, Fort Walton Beach 6 for district title, Class 5A in softball. Jay beat Northview 13-3, and Pace cruises to the district title in softball as All-American Jaden Heavner. I don't even know if she's All-American, but I'm pretty sure she is. She went 4 for 4 again. She has I don't know, 0.5 ERA, 0.4 ERA for the year. I think it's 0.2 or 1.3 for this year.
Well, the young lady from Fort Walton Beach pitched pretty well too. So,
Gulf Breeze.
For Gulf Breeze, she kept them in there. So
yeah, it was the Gulf Breeze. All right, so Pace, they beat Navarre 7-3. As Heavner, like I said, she went 4 for 4 with a home run, and it was a relief pitcher as well. All right, that's up high school. Pirate play. Go here, get there. Pensacola State College. Brian Llewellyn's team finished the regular season 34-16, 12-12, and won 5 of the last games. So they are playing almost as we speak today, Friday at 2:00, and they play Miami-Dade.
Miami-Dade College, they're 31-13-1. They were 15-6 in their conference. They have some similar opponents. Miami-Dade has played Northwest Florida. They played Gulf Coast, and they played Chipola this year. The only tie that Northwest Florida has is from that game, which was played on the 27th of January. They had a 1-1 tie that went 10 innings. Now, this is the kicker. It was 0-0 in the ninth. Northwest Florida scores 1 in the top of the 10th. Miami-Dade scores 1 in the bottom of the 10th. I guess they called the game there after 10 innings. Northwest Florida had 1 run, 6 hits, 1 error. Miami-Dade had 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors. So that was the tie that Miami-Dade has.
It was a pitching duel.
Exactly, a pitching duel. Now, on the 4th of February, they lost 5-0 to Chipola. And then on the 4th, later on that day, they came back and beat Northwest Florida 5-4. So they're 2-1 against Panhandle teams. And then on the 17th, they beat Chipola 13-3 at Chipola. So they're 2-2 against the Panhandle teams. And yes, that game starts at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time, 1:00 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow.
I got to call Coach Llewellyn, not Brian. I'm going to call Dennis.
Dennis, yes.
Dennis.
And matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to the Miami-Dade website, I pulled that up. They might be streaming that game live, or you can get the live updates on that game.
All right, so that is a tournament from the Atlantic South Division. Hobbs, explain real quick, about 30 seconds or a minute, how the National Junior College Baseball Playoffs postseason works, how it works.
Well, they've changed it. This might be the first year they've changed that. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, May 5th, 1980 was the day we played Miami-Dade North in the state championship game in Lakeland. We had 8 teams there, and they all met there. And the winner of that game went to like the Southeast region, which was like a 3-team tournament. And then that put us in, because the state of Florida had so many teams that we were a region unto ourselves.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, your region is like being in the SEC West.
All right, so it's almost the same as maybe the playoff format for UWF, and we got to talk about the Argos. They started the year 16-14, and they won 16 in a row now. So they're 32-14. Listen to this: they came back and won the GSC, the Gulf South Conference Tournament, 22-8, and won it by 1 game over Montevallo. Now they are seeded 1 in the GSC tournament. Only 8 teams make it. They're 1. They play the 8 seed today, Delta State.
Okay.
Right.
Well, they just won the regular season. They finished
won the regular season
22,
conference, right?
Yeah,
this is the conference tournament.
Yeah, this is the conference tournament. They were 22-8 in the conference, and this is West Florida's 7th time winning the conference overall and 3rd time in the last 8 years. Coach Jeff Cope has just won his 6th Gulf Coast State Coach of the Year, and that's tied for 2nd most in conference history.
Wow, congrats, Coach.
Congratulations. And the Argos are 17th ranked overall, and they are playing absolutely lights out. We have not lost since March 31st, which was a 4-3 loss at home. And hey, let's keep it going, guys.
Yeah, Division II South Regional Tournament is next Thursday, May 18th through the 21st. Super Regionals are the next weekend. And then the NCAA Championship Series starts Saturday, June 3rd through June 10th. So they've got a few tournaments to go through.
Yes.
It's still a long road, but like Coach Jernigan said, it's a whole new season in the playoffs. I want to thank everybody for joining us here in Coach's Corner for the local sports report. Tomorrow on Saturday, we will have an interview with former San Francisco Giant Greg Litton. You don't want to miss that. Thanks. We're going to go to our commercials, because without our great sponsors, there's no way that we can do this show. Thanks.
Step 1 works so hard to get you in the perfect it comes. Looking for a better car buying experience? With the Step 1 Advantage from Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola, receive no-hassle market-based pricing or incentives by pre-ordering. Looking to sell or trade? Our dedicated team will even come to you. Plus, every vehicle sold at Step 1 supports local charities right in your neighborhood. Experience the Step 1 Advantage at Buick GMC, Fort Walton Beach, and Pensacola today.
75 years of service and high tech today. It's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348. High tech is a term often applied to advanced services and products in today's marketplace. And today, glass is much more than the simple painted brittle, see-through stuff we hit baseballs through when we were kids. Glass is now a product with unique flexibility in both performance and application. And Pensacola Glass Company is growing right along. That's Pensacola Glass Company at 433-8348.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on your home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Will Rentschler is your go-to agent in Pensacola, Florida for the service you deserve at the price that you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Will Rentschler has you covered. Call 850-433-4678 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Legal disclaimer, individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.